Good morning. Here's an exploration to some more quotations and passages of Siddharameshwar Maharaj's words. Here's the first one. When the mind places its attention on the numerous different forms, that is, the gross objects, within the limiting concept I am, that is Maya. And when it places its attention on the I am, then these objects are left aside, and this is knowledge. You see, here Siddharameshwar Maharaj is pointing to abiding in one's being, abiding in the I am. So he says, the Maya is that in life, in daily living, when our attention is drawn to gross objects, it could be forms, it could be physical objects, it could be relationships, and so on, any kind of objects, that is the illusion. And when it focuses on itself, when the I am turns around, so to speak, and rests in itself, objects are left aside. In other words, consciousness contemplating on consciousness, just contemplating on the fact that you are aware. That is what he is pointing to. Let's take the next one. As has been explained so far, the one who understands all the troubles and strife of Maya is a jiva. Therefore, do not try to do anything. Maya makes the seeker into someone and makes them do something. Really, she is an expert at harassment. Maya has 2 arm's-length horns on its head. Go in front and she strikes you with the horns. Go behind and she kicks you. Therefore, to do nothing at all of any kind is the only means for the destruction of Maya. No doing anything and no leaving anything. But those who have not understood Maya make a riotous clamor. The jiva has the habit of doing something. What should I do? Where should I go? He is never happy. There is a saying, having done everything again and again, and having become exhausted, one starts to worship God. That is really the only truth, for only when all doing is left off is there the real worship of God. This beautiful paragraph goes on, but let's stop there because it is sufficient to give a gist of what Siddharameshwar ji is trying to convey is that this obsessiveness with doing things all the time, keeping ourselves occupied all the time, doing this, doing that, running this errand, watching this movie, doing this work, talking to someone on the phone, going here, going there, so on and so forth. So he is pointing out to this, and then the sense of doership that has been accumulated, acquired, and what has become the basis of our operation in daily living. So he is telling us to step back, to rest in that sense. because in all this doing, one is never happy, as he has said. And of course, as this understanding sinks in deeper and deeper, then the operational aspect of our lives turns from I am doing something to something is being done. And Siddharameshwar ji says at the end of this paragraph, it is said, remain quiet just like God. When there is the understanding within the inner heart that nothing is being done, then this is godliness. So beautiful. Every morning on waking up, bring your awareness to your formless Swarupa. I am Brahman. Then should you not live your life with His glory and majesty? The more time spent with one's attention fixed on the formless Swarupa, the better that day. Hold the sword of I am Brahman and the shield of the world is false. You see, I think this starts happening automatically as one is immersed in this teaching. Everything does start appearing false in that sense. And why false? Because it is fleeting, temporary, transient. You know, what upset you yesterday is gone, is the past. And perhaps you wonder, why was I so upset? Why was I so involved in that? That shows its nature, being illusory. This is what Ramesh ji would say. He would refer to it as the divine hypnosis. Divine because it was created by the divine. The divine hypnosis that created the illusion of the ego with its sense of doership. So beautiful. I am Brahman and the shield of the world is false. And lastly, we'll take up this passage. To be in this continuous action called knowledge is the obligatory duty of the Brahman. The real purpose of having a human body is to understand this knowledge. Then, while in this human body, one becomes a Brahmin. Now here, friends, Brahmin is being referred to as the worshipper of Brahman. To occupy this body and mind in empty telling of tales, playing cards, and getting caught up in watching plays and films all the time is squandering time and not befitting you. Time means money, one English writer has said, and it is quite correct. Each and every moment time should be protected. Just as by earning one penny after another, one becomes rich, so too, drop by drop, the whole pond gets filled. In this same way, one should not waste a single moment. By spending the whole time in the thought of God, time should acquire the true meaning of life. going to the market for a bunch of fenugreek, you will inquire at 10 different stalls and then buy from whoever is the cheapest. You are not ready to spend even an extra penny. But time is just like money, and if we have not looked after it carefully, it is wasted. If in the end there are to be no regrets, then one should have the feeling that no time should be spent without the bhajana of God. Hundreds of saints and sages have said this, shouting over and over into the ears of the people. But who is listening? If they have ears, then they can listen, no? But the ears are already filled with the songs of plays and other shows and the tedious lamenting of this worldly life. Where is there a place to keep the words of the saint in their ears? It's so true. And yes, I mean, if you look, Siddharameshwar is far more uncompromising than even Nisargadatta Maharaj. Ramesh was the most gentle. Ramesh ji was, I mean, like a lamb compared to these masters. But let's not forget, that we are talking of perhaps almost 100 years ago. And the environment was also different at the time. In fact, sometimes I feel we need someone with a nice lathi to beat us into our senses, because there are so many distractions today compared to those days, decades earlier. So much of Maya, so to speak, so much of illusion, so much of drama, involvement, distraction, so many things take our attention away. So yes, I mean, I feel that Siddharameshwar Maharaj is so direct and clear, uncompromising, doesn't have time for being too gentle, but is extremely direct with his devotees, students. And once again, I can clearly see this whole strain of spiritual thought, like the concept of non-doership, how strongly it runs through this lineage. It's as if it's just been coming down from guru to guru to guru to guru, depending on the way they express it during their time, based on their conditioning, but the thread is the same. It's like a golden thread which has kind of weaved this ancient teaching through the generations and reached us. And so much gratitude arises for that. Thank you.